I'm Mike Nelson. My job this trip was surveying some inland lakes for one of the American republics. With the help of my teammate, Rodolfo Cordoba, a local engineer. This underwater survey had been a rough job from the start. Now suddenly it became a whole lot rougher. Our cruiser gave us some protection against that rifle fire from shore.
What's this all about?
I don't know. I couldn't see anybody.
Indians?
Could be. This is wild country. Some of the tribes are still hostile to strangers.
I'm glad they're not very good shots.
Mike, this wasn't part of the deal. You're a guest of my country. If anything should happen to you, I'd never forgive myself.
Don't let that bother you. Something could happen to you, too, you know.
Oh, I'm supposed to take risks. It's my job. But I can't ask you to.
Wonder why they're not out looking for us.
I don't like it, Mike.
Maybe they don't have any boats.
Well, more than likely they're waiting till dark to use them. I'm going to radio the capital for some soldiers.
Oh. That'll be days before they get here. See, maybe we can get through tonight. We won't need them.
If we get through.
This project is too important to be held up by a sniper. Your government's in a hurry for this survey.
Yes, it is.
I'm going to get our boat out of range of this firing. Keep low now.
We broke for the far end of the lake and made it. We stayed there overnight. Then headed back. The riflemen stayed out of sight, so we decided to resume operations. I'd no sooner gone back to work than my slate got away from me. Carried away, I mean, by a surprisingly swift current. I checked my wrist compass and found that the current was moving south-southeast. That was something that I wanted to tell my teammate, Rudy, right away.
There's quite a current down there.
Well, forgive me, Mike, but it isn't surprising, is it, finding a current in a lake this size?
But this current goes south-southeast. Toward those mountains that separate this lake from the other one.
So,
suppose that current goes underground. It continues flowing south, underneath those mountains, and into the other lake.
It's possible. Just a minute. Yes, it could. Mike, do you realize what this means?
It means that nature may be digging that canal for us.
Exactly. It may be necessary only to follow the underground current, plant explosives along it, and blast the mountains from below.
You simmer down now. We haven't even found an underground current.
Well, it must flow out of this lake someplace. All we have to do is find out where, huh?
Locating the current again was easy. Finding the point where it flowed out of the lake was a lot harder. We tracked the current finally to the southern end of the lake and lost it there in a maze of rocks. Then we decided to let science do our detective work with a container of radioactive dye as our bloodhound. I released the dye in the water and let the current take it on its way, I hoped, to its sister lake beyond the hills. The next step was getting there ourselves. We anchored the cruiser in a secluded cove and made it to shore in a rubber raft.
I hate to leave the boat.
She'll be here when we get back.
How can you be so sure?
She's not going to go anywhere without these.
Taking the spark plugs along guaranteed the boat would still be there when we got back, if we did.
Okay, boy. There we go.
The lakes were less than a mile apart, as the crow flies. The way we had to go made it a lot longer and hotter with the heavy equipment that we were toting. We didn't see anybody, but we could almost feel them. And then, without warning, they made their move.
Close one.
An old Indian trick.
Wonder how many more tricks they got up their sleeve. Come on.
Maybe they had sensed our anger and decided to leave us alone. They left us alone for quite a while, mile after mile. Then, just as we sighted the last hill between us and the second lake,
Cover me. Mike, wait. Cover me. they left behind? From a carbine. A late model carbine.
But Indians don't have guns like this.
I know.
These are from professional soldiers.
Huh?
Rebels, maybe. They're at it again.
You want to go back?
I wouldn't go back for anything in the world, Mike. But you can.
We pushed on. We had to. We'd long since passed the point of no return. We made it safely to the second lake, inflated our rubber raft, stowed our essential equipment in plastic bags, and headed for the northern shore. "50 yards out was where it happened. Luckily, our Geiger counter came through the attack unharmed. Now, if the counter could pick up any trace of unusual radioactivity in this lake, we'd know that there was a connection with the first lake, an underground channel, and the Geiger counter might guide us to it. We swam toward the lake's northern shore, where the radioactivity should be strongest. But our Geiger counter indicated only the normal amount. We were just about to turn back when up ahead we spotted the entrance to a cave. We swam to it and thrust the counter ahead of us. It responded with a clatter. The radioactive dye had come through. The two lakes were connected. I was as excited as Rudy, but we still had a big question to answer. Was this channel wide enough all the way for a man to get through? The channel turned out to be just wide enough for one-way traffic. The other way. We had to battle the current every yard and use up our limited air supply nearly twice as fast as normal. About 10 minutes into the channel, we came to an opening in its roof. We couldn't have reached the first lake this quickly. I knew that, but I didn't know where else we could be.
Where are we, Mike? What is this?
Some kind of a cave.
I wonder where that light is coming from.
It's got to come from the outside.
Then there must be an entrance to the cave from above ground.
It's sure worth taking a look. Come on.
As far as I could tell, we were in a huge natural cavern inside one of the many hills that we'd crossed on our way to the second lake.
They're rebels, all right.
There's enough war material here to really start big trouble. Aranda. This is Aranda's supply depot. It's got to be.
Aranda, the ex-dictator?
Yes. When the government drove him from power, he swore he'd march on the capital someday again. And set up the old tyranny again.
Looks like he meant what he said. So these are the guys that have been sniping at us, huh?
We've got to stop him.
I don't know if we can stop him. But we might be able to slow him up a little. That bag of yours. I think I put in some charges, some detonating stuff, so see if you can find it. There's a crimping tool in there, too, huh? Gives about 20 minutes leeway.
Do you think we can get to the channel by then?
We've got to. That's all the air we got left.
What's the matter, Michelle?
Found your light.
We couldn't escape above ground. This supply depot had to be well guarded. So back we went underwater into the channel, knowing that we had less than 20 minutes to reach the end of the channel and the lake beyond it, or be smashed to bits against the walls by the force of the explosion behind us. made the best time that we could along the winding passage, hoping that it would stay this wide all the way. It didn't. It narrowed at this point into a natural bottleneck. Neither of us could get through, not with our bulky tanks on our backs. Without them, we might. We just possibly might make it. We made it all right, but we had less than 5 minutes worth of air in our tanks now. I mean, I did. Rudy's supply was just about gone. The exertions he'd made and his inexperience with a diving lung had caused him to use up his air much faster. He was in trouble right now. We'd got into this together, and that was the only way that I wanted to get out. I began sharing my air supply with him for as long as it lasted. 3 minutes, and that was it. I heard it, and then I felt it, thrusting through the water like a tidal wave. The wave hit us, but didn't smash us against the walls of the channel. Instead, it thrust us out and up into the lake like a giant broom. With the last of our strength, we made it to shore.
It worked, Mike. It worked.
Just like in the storybooks. We saved our lives and wrecked Aranda's plans. I don't know where our boat is. How about you, huh? You think you feel strong enough to see if we can find it?
Oh, I have to. I must radio my government. They will want to send some troops to mop up the rebels.
You give them a message for me, will you?
Yes. What is it?
Survey completed. Demolition work already started. Hello there. I'm Lloyd Bridges. You know, 3/5 of the world is covered by the sea. And how little most of us know about that underwater world. Go below with us again next week, huh? For another thrilling adventure in Sea Hunt.